A game that was fair for everyone.
The game Monopoly is back.
A game that was seemingly harmless.
Marvin Gardens! Marvin Gardens!
A game that could change fortunes overnight.
Live at McDonald's with over $40 million in food, prizes, and cash. You could win $1 million.
What started as a marketing masterpiece became one of the biggest scams in history, costing McDonald's an astonishing $24 million. But how did it all go down? Who was Uncle Jerry? Why was Canada left out of the winning party? And how did one anonymous tip take down a seemingly untouchable crime ring? Stick because today's video spills all the tea on the notorious McDonald's Monopoly fraud. Legonomy. If you've never played it, the McDonald's Monopoly promotion was pure marketing genius. You'd buy some fries or a Big Mac, peel off those tiny game pieces stuck to the packaging, and suddenly you were on a treasure hunt. The goal? Collect Monopoly properties for big cash prizes or score instant wins like free food, cars, dream vacations, or even millions of dollars. Launched in 1987 by Simon Marketing, the same folks behind the Happy Meal. This promo was a game changer, boosting McDonald's sales by an impressive 40%. People were buying extra food just to get more tickets and increase their chances of winning. The risk was too low and the reward was too high. McDonald's had found a way to tap into the minds of their customers.
Match and win Monopoly. Stick around. This is gonna be big.
But here's the spoiler. The poor buyers were never winning, not even a dime. And the reason? Uncle Jerry. Jerome Jacobson was a former Florida cop who, after leaving the force due to a chronic nervous system illness, started a career in private security. He eventually landed at Dittler Brothers and Simon Marketing. Right when the stakes couldn't have been higher, Jerry was appointed head of security for the production line. The company had just secured the biggest contract in its history, handling the printing for McDonald's legendary Monopoly event. We're talking about 500 million tickets that needed to be printed. But here's the catch. Most of those tickets were just fillers. You've probably been there. You buy a burger, peel off a sticker, and either win something small, like free fries, or nothing at all. But hidden among those ordinary tickets were the ones that could change lives, the $1 million winners. This is where Jerry's job became seemingly critical. Those big money tickets weren't just regular stickers, they were literal golden tickets. And trusting employees on the production line not to steal them? Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So the printing room was locked down tighter than Fort Knox, with security monitoring every move. Whenever the $1 million tickets were scheduled for printing, Jerry had to personally oversee the process. Once printed, he'd seal them in an envelope with a tamper-proof seal, grab another security guard, and escort those tickets straight to a vault. Only then were they locked away safely, waiting to be delivered to the lucky McDonald's locations where dreams could come true. While this system seemed foolproof, Jerry, being a former cop, knew the ins and outs of how it worked. And behind the golden arches, he was quietly flipping the script. In 1989, he made his first heist, slipping a $25,000 game piece to his stepbrother, Marvin Braun. Different last names, no trail. When that worked, Jerry leveled up, selling prize pieces to a network of accomplices who'd redeem them, keeping his name out of the mess. For the next few years, it was just small wins. But Jerry, who made just over $70,000 a year, felt the temptation grow every day. He wanted to do something even bigger. And well, the universe conspired in his favor. Given the success of the game, in 1995, McDonald's took things to a whole new level, raising the top prize to $1 million.
At McDonald's, just order any of these McDonald's food favorites to get your game piece. Cruises, cars, cash, $1 million. This is your...
Coupled with this, Jerry received a package, and it was a jackpot. The foreign supplier responsible for sending Simon Marketing the tamper-proof seals accidentally sent an entire package of seals directly to Jacobson. Suddenly, the former cop had the one thing he needed to steal game pieces en route to the factory. Even though he himself was under surveillance, he found a way around it. He would sneak into restrooms or other secluded spots, secretly slip out the winning tickets, and reseal the packets using the seals he had received. There was another detail he noticed. Every time Canadians won, Simon Marketing tampered with the results, making it practically impossible for Canadians to win. So yeah, the game was already rigged. Jerry used this fact to ease his conscience and even went so far as to anonymously send a $1 million ticket to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in 1994, a stunt that made national news. With this move, Jacobson now had full access to winning tickets. But to make his scheme flawless, he needed winners. Fake winners who weren't connected to him in any way, but whom he could still trust. These individuals would pay him up front for the ticket. For example, his local butcher paid $2,000 for a stolen $10,000 ticket. His nephew received a $200,000 ticket in exchange for $45,000 up front. As it turned out, Jerry soon found the perfect accomplice, Gennaro Colombo, whom he met at an airport. The two hit it off immediately. Gennaro was born in Sicily, grew up in Brooklyn, ran strip clubs and illegal gambling operations, and to top it off, he was connected to the infamous Colombo crime family. For Jacobson, Gennaro was an opportunity, a perfect partner in crime. To gain his trust, Jacobson gave him a prize ticket for a new Dodge Viper. Colombo even appeared in a McDonald's ad, waving the key to the Viper, though in reality, he took the cash equivalent because the sports car was too small for him.
Jerry Colombo won a Dodge Viper.
Soon, Jerry was setting up family members and friends with $1 million tickets, each time taking a cut for himself. He and Gennaro Colombo had made each other very rich, until Colombo's life took a turn. Struggling with marital problems, Gennaro got into an accident and succumbed to his injuries 2 weeks later. During this time, Jerry felt completely lost. He no longer had the strong connections of the Colombo family, and he needed someone to fill the void left by Gennaro's untimely death. It was around this time that Jerry went on a cruise, where he met Don Hart, a Georgia man who had previously run a trucking company. Don had no reason to trust Jerry at first, but Jerry won him over by giving him $200,000 up front. This move secured Jerry's trust and opened the door to a new network of associates, including Richard Couturier and Andrew Glom. However, let's just say these guys weren't exactly the dream team. Richard? He liked to show off his stolen Monopoly pieces at parties, handing them out like party favors. And Glom? Well, he had a colorful resume, including jail time for smuggling cocaine on a flight. His approach was a little more Robin Hood. He claimed he passed his tickets to people who were in desperate need of cash. Jerry's new crew wasn't nearly as competent or trustworthy as his old one, but the tickets still needed to be offloaded. Glom even managed to get his hands on a cool $1 million jackpot. For a while, things ran smoothly. By March 2000, Jerry had pocketed over $24 million in stolen tickets over the past decade, without raising a single eyebrow. McDonald's didn't notice. Simon Marketing was too busy celebrating the campaign's success, and Jerry thought he was untouchable. But here's the thing about secrets, especially crimes. The more people who know, the more likely it is to blow up in your face. By this point, Jerry's operation involved dozens of insiders with first-hand knowledge, and each of them likely spilled the beans to a few others. The web of people in the know was growing fast, and with every new whisper, Jerry's house of cards teetered closer to collapse. And of course, it was only a matter of time before the inevitable happened. In the year 2000, everything came crashing down when the FBI got wind of a game-changing tip. Agent Richard Dent received an anonymous call about some seriously fishy business. The McDonald's Monopoly game was rigged. At first, Dent brushed it off. He was drowning in other cases. But eventually, curiosity got the best of him. The tip led to 3 jackpot winners, all somehow connected to a mysterious figure, Uncle Jerry. Dent called in McDonald's representative Amy Murray, aka McQueen, to share the intel. She wasted no time digging into the winners mentioned in the tip, William Fisher and Gloria Brown, only to discover a huge coincidence. They were both supposedly from different states, but were actually living in Florida. Pretty surprising, wasn't it? The FBI did the math and realized something was way off. It was unreal. The odds of winning the jackpot were 1 in 250 million. Yet here were 3 connected winners. It was literally impossible. Following this, all the pieces fell like dominoes as the FBI kicked off Operation Final Answer, a full-blown investigation with 25 agents tracking over 20,000 phone numbers across the US to uncover the truth. The investigation went so far that they even convinced McDonald's to release 2 $1 million tickets, setting up a trap to monitor Jacobson's crime ring closely. Sure enough, the tickets landed with Michael Hoover and Dwight Mormont's brother-in-law. FBI agents, disguised as McDonald's staff, went to Michael Hoover's house and interviewed him, collecting all the necessary evidence. Finally, the FBI had everything they needed for the big takedown. On August 22, 2001, the operation went into full swing. Agents fanned out across the country, arresting 8 key players, including Michael Hoover, Dwight Baker, Andrew Glom, and Brenda Finis. Meanwhile, a pre-dawn raid on Jerry's red brick home ended with the mastermind himself in handcuffs. charged with conspiracy to commit mail fraud. During a 6-hour interrogation, Agent Dent laid out the FBI's airtight case against Jerry. For over 12 years, Jerry's scheme had lived solely in his head, but now, his entire operation was neatly mapped out on paper. Still, Jerry thought he had a wild card. In the weeks that followed, he handed over documents claiming Simon Marketing had rigged McDonald's contests to cheat Canadian customers, hoping to deflect attention. He also tried to use his $1 million donation to St. Jude's as leverage for a reduced sentence, but investigators weren't buying it. They believed the donation was a last-minute stunt, a desperate move after he failed to recruit a winner before the contest's deadline. Simultaneously, more than 50 defendants were convicted of mail fraud and conspiracy. Jerry's super recruiters, Schwartz, Hart, Couturier, and Glom, were each sentenced to a year and 1 day in prison and handed hefty fines. When Jerry himself took the stand, he was described as a gigantic master criminal before finally admitting to his crimes. "I made the biggest mistake of my life," he confessed, agreeing to pay back $12.5 million. He ended up serving 37 months in prison. McDonald's wasn't off the hook either. They faced a storm of lawsuits, including a messy $16.6 million payout to Simon Marketing and a class action suit from over 1,000 Burger King franchises for unfair promotion. To clean up their image, McDonald's also gave away $25 million in prizes, including $1 million each to people at random chain locations. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you found this video interesting, please consider subscribing. Until next time, this is Legenemy.